What's going on, everyone? This is Erik with Full Man MMA, and today I am joined by UFC Featherweight Josh Emmett. Josh, how are you?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me on, Erik.
Of course, really appreciate you coming on. We're about a month removed from your win over Dan Ige at UFC 269. I was wondering, have you watched the fight back? And if so, how do you feel about the win?
Yeah, no, I definitely, I always watch the fights. I've watched it a few times just because it's different. Like from when I'm actually watching the fight to what I think played out in my head. And no, it was kind of how I thought it went down. I was a lot more cautious in that fight. I didn't take a whole lot of risks like I typically do, just because Dan Ige was, he was such a tough opponent, a durable guy, really well-rounded. And I thought he would definitely want to implement his wrestling to try to get it down to the ground. So I just had to be cautious, and not blitz in as much, not put myself in as much danger. But yeah, it played out good. It wasn't as exciting as him and I thought it was going to be, and what a lot of the fans thought. But it was still a technical fight, and there's definitely areas where I think I could have I could have done more, especially watching it on TV. I'm like, oh man, I should have done this or I should have done that. But that's besides the fact. And I still happy with my performance, given the 18-month layoff, especially.
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to ask you about that. You're now on a 4-fight win streak. I would imagine you'd like to stay a little bit more active this year. You mentioned the long layoff. When are you healthy enough to return again?
Yeah, I was hoping with all of the what's going on in the featherweight division right now, with Max Holloway being injured and Volkanovski looking for a replacement, I was hoping to hop right back in there March 5th. And then I see, they were thinking about Zombie, and they ended up going with Korean Zombie. I understand that, from Volkanovski's view, just because, he's a big name, and especially if, it's a pay-per-view card and he gets pay-per-view buys. I can see where he's going with that from a business standpoint. But yeah, we'll see. I'm going to hop back into practice here soon. It's been like a month. I've been in and out of the gym, and I've been actually focusing on another business venture right now. So I'm, if I did get that Volkanovski fight, I would have been 100% in on that. But now that that didn't come to fruition, I'm going to focus on this business opportunity right now, and just kind of play it by ear, but hopefully get back in there before May or June. It just depends who's available. You know what I mean? Because I was actually looking to fight the Korean Zombie just because he was the only one in front of me that's coming off a win, and I wanted to, fight him for a title eliminator, and then he got the shot. So I guess we have to sit back and see what happens too, and how things play out.
Yeah, of course. I was going to ask you obviously about getting, I think, kind of slighted in this whole Holloway Volkanovski mix up here, just because you are riding the 4-fight win streak, and we just saw the Korean Zombie against Brian Ortega, and it did not go his way. So how do you think that you match up against Volkanovski? I'm sure that that's a fight that you'd like down the road.
Yeah, definitely. I think Volkanovski, and he's the best. He's the champion. He's undefeated in the UFC, so he's there for a reason. But I see, don't get me wrong, Korean Zombie, he's one of the best fighters as well. But I think stylistically, I think Volkanovski will win, and he'll just kind of do what he's been doing. But I think when he fights me, we're so similar in styles, and he's a big physical guy. I feel like I'm bigger than him. I feel like I'm more powerful than him. So I definitely want that opportunity. And that's going to be, a fun fight for myself and just for the fans. I think that's a fight the fans really want to see, because other than that, he's already fought people that are really similar in styles to Korean Zombie and all these guys like Holloway, Ortega, you know what I mean? I feel like it's going to be the same outcome.
Were there any ever serious talks between your team and the UFC about making this fight happen, or did they move pretty quickly in the direction of the Korean Zombie?
Yeah, as soon as I found out, I did an interview with Mike from MMA Junkie, and he kind of like dropped it to me like it was like it just happened, and I was like, oh man. So I text my manager right away, and he's like, oh yeah, you're already in the talk. So I don't know what they were doing, but my name was in the mix. They just, for whatever reason, didn't go with me.
And I got to get your take on the fact that Henry Cejudo also threw his name in the hat. How do you feel about that whole situation?
Yeah, I think he can do what he wants. I think for a lot of it, he's throwing it out there. I think it's funny. You know what I mean? But also, I knew that wouldn't go down just because he hasn't fought for 2 years. Yeah, he was the flyweight champion, moving up 2 weight classes to hop in and fight the featherweight champion. If he did get that opportunity, I think it would be big for the UFC just because a lot of people would buy those pay-per-views. I feel like more people would pay for that. And he would have the opportunity to do what nobody's done. If for some way he did get the win, he would be, won 3 different titles in 3 different weight classes. That would be an amazing accomplishment. But I think he's always just like trolling people, and he's always just, on Twitter and stuff, which is funny in my opinion.
Of course, ultimately, as we talked about, it will end up being the Korean Zombie versus Alexander Volkanovski. They moved it to April. I wanted to get your prediction on the matchup itself, how they match up stylistically.
Yeah, I think anything can happen in a fight, of course, especially with 4-ounce gloves. But, Volkanovski, like I said earlier, he's the champion. He's the best in the division. He's 10-0. He's beat the best fighters, the GOATs of the featherweight division. And he continues to he probably is improving. Like, I don't know that, but I think he's earning the respect of the fans and stuff like that, because there's always he never gets the respect he deserves. Mm-hmm. When there's a big fight, people are always counting him out, and then he just makes it look easy, or he just shows how good he is. But, Korean Zombie's great. He's been at the top for so long, since the WEC days. He's fought for the title. He's fought some of the best guys, but I just don't see him beating Volkanovski.
Of course. And I'm wondering, going back to you, if not a title shot, you're now ranked number 6. You're riding this great 4-fight winning streak. There's still a lot of moving parts at the featherweight division, as we discussed. But if it's up to you, who would you like to fight next?
And whoever's going to get me I want a title eliminator. So whoever that may be, that's what I want. If it's not a title shot, I want a title eliminator. I don't care who it is, as long as that's in the contract saying winner gets a shot at the title. I'll fight anyone. I'll fight up weight classes if I had to.
Awesome. And of course, you're still training over at Team Alpha Male. Is that correct?
Yep, correct. I'm from Sacramento. This is home to me. I'm just fortunate that the best team in the world was open in my backyard. So yeah, I won't ever go anywhere.
Awesome. Urijah Faber, of course, the captain of the team, is talking about possibly making a return to the octagon against Cub Swanson. I wanted to get your thoughts on that. That was some big news that kind of came out earlier this week.
Yeah, I saw that. It's if that's what Cub and Urijah want, like let's do it. Let the UFC should put that together, and let the fans will enjoy that. It's like those guys are both pioneers of the sport. They've been around since the WEC days. They've helped grow this sport, especially for the lighter weights. And if that's a fight they want, it's like, I say let's do it. It'd be fun to watch for sure.
Absolutely. Well, Josh, I can't thank you enough for joining me today. Before I let you go, I wanted to give you the floor. Any shout outs you wanted to give out to any teammates, promotions, sponsors? I'll give you the floor right now.
Yeah, we have a bunch of guys fighting coming up. We have actually tonight, we have Slava Vorchek fighting. He's fighting on the main card. Tonight, he's one to watch, man. The guy is the world champion, multiple-time world champion kickboxer, and now he's transitioned to MMA. He's been at the gym for like 3-4 years, working on his wrestling and jiu-jitsu, because his stand-up is scary. So definitely tune in to watch him. And then, yeah, we got a lot of big fights coming up. Chad Mendes is making his return to the bare knuckle boxing, which is going to be insane. That guy's going to hurt somebody. And we have a lot of fights on the horizon as well. Chris Gonzalez is fighting in Bellator January 29th. But as far as sponsors go, all my sponsors and everything that I support are on my website at joshemmett.com. And then you can also find me on Twitter and Instagram at Josh Emmett UFC. But I appreciate you having me on.
Perfect. Well, we'll link all that in the description below. Josh, I can't wait to see you back in there, hopefully before May. I'm wishing you the best of luck, Josh.
Awesome. Thanks again.
Hey everyone, thanks for watching this video. If you like our content, be sure to subscribe to Full 9 MMA. And while you're at it, make sure to hit the bell icon as well so you never miss an update from us.